Charlie is live in Montreal at the Bell Center. Charlie, what'd you think of tonight's game?
I mean, not a ton to criticize. I guess you could be critical of the third period because they did sit back and just sort of park the bus and let Montreal take full control. But of the first two periods, a lot of good. You had production from all the guys you want to see production from. Dan Vladar was fantastic from start to finish, which is becoming just a normal occurrence, I would say, with this team. One thing I really, really liked about this game, I loved, and this is going to be a big part of the article I write on the game. I love the response after they give up that first goal. That's huge to me. To me, that's where the entire game turns because TK has a pass to Dvorak, ends up being a turnover. They go back the other way. They score. It had been a pretty even first period at that point. And suddenly, with a minute left, Montreal's about to go into intermission with a lead. Who knows how this game turns out? If the Flyers go into intermission down one, they're coming off 3 straight losses. Now they're starting to feel bad about themselves. Instead, very next shift, you have that new look Couturier line. Everyone on the ice really was involved in that play. You have Sanheim move up ice, Couturier with a deceptively difficult pass to Tippett, and then Tippett with a not deceptively difficult, a very tough but very awesome pass to watch to find Grunstrom on the back door. Like that flips the game because instead of going in intermission down 1-0, it's tied 1-1, and you're the team that scored with time running down in the first. I just felt like they used that as a springboard in the second. Again, they weren't perfect, but they were the better team in the second. They obviously get the 2 goals. And then because Vladar is Vladar, they're able to park the bus and still come away with a win. So a lot of good things in this game, but I love that response to that late first period goal. I thought that's where the game was won.
It was really annoying. It took Montreal that long to score. I was hoping the Flyers could start after giving up the customary first goal, and it took them 19 minutes to get it. So it took 19 and a half minutes for the Flyers to answer. Making his big return tonight, Rasmus Ristolainen announced his presence with authority in the first with a couple nice neutral zone hits. Liked how he used his reach in the late in the third period. You can see why teams tend to like big defensemen when you get one out there and it's like, oh, right, he can just get to pucks other guys can't. But I thought, considering it was his first game back, we talked about how some of his practices, it's like, yeah, this is basically training camp for Risto right now. I was pretty impressed with Risto. What did you think, Charlie?
I honestly, I was surprised that he played as much as he did. I thought they were going to ease him in, but I think honestly he was playing well enough. And Tocchet made a point to praise Ristolainen's game after the game. He said he liked the entire defense's game, really, top to bottom. But I suspect it was just that Risto was playing well enough, and him and Todd Reardon are like, hey, if he can take the minutes, let's keep throwing him out there. Yeah, I really liked what we saw from him in the first period. Showing that physicality early, and Ristolainen, look like. I know that to some people he's kind of a running joke because now he can't stay healthy, but I feel really bad for the guy. Like, this is a guy who worked really hard to remake his game to become a better player than he was in Buffalo, accept a role where he's not going to be getting as many points. He does that, does a really good job, and puts in all that time, and then he can't stay healthy. Like, it's a bummer. I feel bad for him, and it was really nice to see him come back and have an impact so well in this first game, such a good impact in this first game. It's one of those things like you forget these guys are people sometimes. Like, had to have been real hard for him to not play a game from March on, to miss training camp, to rehab again, like the same thing that he had to rehab the year before. I'm sure it was a lot for him to deal with, and I'm really happy for him that he came back and had this good of a return. And look, like, this defense looks pretty good now. Like, now that they're done jerking around Andre, York's back, Risto's back. Like, yeah, they still don't have that number one alpha guy, but top to bottom, like, there aren't too many teams that have as deep of defense 1 through 6 as the Flyers do now that Ristolainen is back.
No, absolutely not. And Kelly and I said in pregame, okay, well, they're keeping that Andre Drysdale pair together. Not sure what to make of a Sealer Risto pair. Maybe this just means like, yeah, man, we're going to give you 12 minutes and see how it goes. But it ended up being considerably more than that. So I guess they have confidence in him, and we'll see if they shake up the pairs or keep what's working right now. Trevor Zegras, Charlie. 14th goal. He is 10 shy of a new career high with like 50 games left in the season. Was there any word post-game about when he got shaken up a little, looked like he was testing his knee? He did come out for that next power play. But was there any word on that? Answer's probably no, because Tocchet will never say. And what do you think of Zegras' game?
Well, no, I just think that this was something that the TV probably made a much bigger deal out of it than it probably should have been.
Okay.
Because he was fine. We interviewed him after the game. He was fine. He did actually multiple interviews. He did an interview with one of my old colleagues, The Athletic, for a story that he's working on after he did a scrum with us. Trevor Zegras is fine. I feel like this is probably like I didn't even really notice it watching the game here. So I feel like it was something that maybe the NBC Sports Philly broadcast zeroed in on, and that's why you're talking about it. He's fine. Doesn't seem like it's any big deal.
Outstanding. 4 of Travis Konecny's 9 goals are empty netters, Charlie. What the hell does that mean? Anything?
Or are we gonna have to start? Should we start calling him the closer? Is he the closer?
Maybe he's the closer. I find it insane that he's like half of his goals are empty netters.
It's funny, and like you might say that, yeah, it's inflating his goal totals, but hey, goals are goals, and a goal that clinches you a win, just even though it's obviously inherently easier to score when there's no goalie in the net, a goal that clinches you a win is still a high leverage goal. It's an important goal, and somebody's got to score them. Would I rather Travis Konecny be scoring more goals with a goalie in the net? Sure. But if this is the way he's got to build up his confidence and in the process clinch the Flyers multiple wins, sure, whatever works.
Just looking at the time on ice tonight, we're not going to do the Michkov thing because honestly, I don't feel like it.
No.
But we talked pregame, Kelly and I, about Couturier and Michkov getting split up and what that could mean for Coots' role. Maybe it wasn't so much about limiting one or the other's ice time. It was like, well, they're both kind of limiting each other because of different things. Well, Mish kind of plays the same, and Coots plays like 20 minutes tonight. What do you think Coots' role is now that he's away from Matvei Michkov?
I mean, I don't think this game is necessarily going to provide the answer as to how much he's going to be getting on a nightly basis. I just think this is a game where, especially in the third period, they're kind of hanging on. This is a game where, maybe if you're trailing, Michkov is going to get a little more. If you're getting a lot of power plays, Michkov is going to get a little bit more. If you're leading, you're probably going to lean on a guy like Couturier, whose specialty is shutdown defense. It still is a specialty. He's still quite good at it. This is probably a game where he's going to get a bit more. I also thought that he just looked like he had more jump. To me, the game that he had on Sunday, like he actually comes through with a pretty solid overtime. I think he did good work in OT, but he looked gassed. He looked exhausted in that Sunday game. They obviously don't practice yesterday. They just do a morning skate today. He just seemed like he had more energy. As I said, made a really good play to set up Tippett, to set up Grundstrom for that goal. Gets, I think, another assist on the TK empty netter. Couturier just had a, generally speaking, solid enough game. And in that kind of game, I don't have a problem with piling the minutes onto him. It's the games where it's clear that he doesn't have his legs that I'm more like, all right, it's not going to kill you to give him 12, 13 minutes on Sunday when it's the second game of back-to-back and a 3rd and 4. On a game like this where you were off the previous day and then in the first period, he's looking pretty spry. Sure, give him 20.
Spry. He's 32.
Spry is a great word.
I know. It's just like something you say about an 89-year-old man if you're not
the oldest man in the league.
Yeah. It's like he's
a miracle
today.
It's a miracle.
Anyway, go ahead, Kelly.
Charlie, I'm curious what you thought when you saw that Carl Grundstrom had been made into a top 6 forward for this game at practice. I'm assuming is when you figured out that was going to happen. And also, what'd you think of his game tonight?
Well, I think where I was at with it was I've been so unimpressed over the last few games with Nikita Gurbenkin that for me it was like, sure, give it a look. Now to me, like the ultimate solution here is probably call up Alex Bump at some point, but I don't think you necessarily have to race to do that. Like that maybe could be an after Christmas thing. You don't have to be like, well, get Bump up here. Like, sure, you know what? Grundstrom had 3 points in his previous 4 games. He'd been playing well. He'd been putting in some good minutes. He scored some legitimately clutch goals. I'm totally fine with giving him the first look if you're going to pull back on the Gurbenkin experiment. And honestly, Grundstrom justified their faith. It was a let's see how it works, and he scores the biggest goal of the night, and I thought was really good, especially in the third period. He gave him some good minutes trying to salt away this game. I liked what I saw from Grundstrom. We talked to Grundstrom after the game, and I straight up asked him, like, were you extra motivated in this game because you got an opportunity to play up the lineup? And it's like, okay, can't let this slip. And He almost said yes, and then he pulled back. He's like, well, I'm motivated every game. But it was clear, no, he knew this is an opportunity. And look, I think Gurbenkin is more important because he is younger. He is a prospect turned NHL player. I don't want to see him get buried for this and just never get another opportunity. Yeah. But Flyers trying to win games. And right now, Gurbenkin is not playing well. The Cates line with him on it was struggling mightily. So give Grundstrom a shot. Go with the guy who's objectively playing better hockey and see what he can do. He showed what he can do, and it was pretty impressive.
I wish when you asked him that question, instead of answering, he just pulled out his phone, hit play, and it was the 8 Mile song.
One shot, one opportunity.
Charlie, you mentioned the Cates line. Gurbenkin sits, Michkov joins that line. What'd you think of that trio?
I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was mind-blowingly good, but they obviously get a goal. Now, a lot of that was Jacob Fowler's mistake, but Michkov had to be in there on the forecheck for it to be a possibility. It could have just been like, yeah, it could have just been a puck that just was left to no one and no one's there because there's not a tenacious F1 coming in on the forecheck. Michkov was there, and then he makes a nice pass to Brink, so they do get on the board. That's a positive. Maybe that'll give them some confidence. I don't think they were incredible. It's not like I watched them and thought oh man, we got something here. But I thought they were fine, and obviously they get the goal. So hopefully it can spark something for them over the long term because I don't think Grundstrom's getting pulled off that Couturier line anytime soon. And if he's going to be on that line and you're not going to break up the Dvorak Zegras TK line, that line, the Brink, Cates, Michkov line, it's probably going to get some runway. So I hope they can start developing some chemistry because they might be playing together for a bit.